Okay, hello everyone, what's up, misfits? I'm your lovely haunted host, Nicole Gaspard here, a religious demonologist. If you're new here, yeah, I'm a religious demonologist. Was certified last year, and I'm still stoked about it. So, and bear with me. And we're kind of like demonologists, but we prefer the other title, religious demonologist. And I have to correct my. Anyway, some exciting things happening here in Mystic with the podcast. There we go. Better review. Yeah, I have to bring Emily in. You guys want me to bring my haunted dog back? Let me know. Haunted, yes. Evil, no. He's more like my protector now. Nope. Don't mind my summer attire. It is very hot here in sunny California. I tell you, it's living up to its name. Some areas, we're already at the whopping 100. So updates. Missed it with birds. We are getting some awesome guests lining up for the rest of the summer. July is already full, so if you want to come in our office and the rest of the month, the rest of the year, just let us know. Shoot us a message, and I'll provide my 2 emails. Now we got 2, my original and a special email. The special email I'll say in here is Paranormal Whispers. I had to think about Paranormal Whispers at gmail.com. It's pretty easy. It's just for this pod alone. And sometimes we'll have my co-host Casey Sinise. She'll be with us for the interviews. And I think we get interview first week of August. Let me double check in my calendar. Today is 16th. So within August. Yeah, I think August 9th. I think that's our first interview for the rest of the year. Hopefully we'll get some more. I'm working on it. It's kind of hard when you're solo, and it helps if you have a whole family backup. With Jim Harrell. Speaking of Jim Harrell, shout out to Campfire Podcast. I'll be on their show for a few and sharing my most serious doppelganger encounter ever. Any kind of resident family. You'll see why when I share on the campfire on the 20th. So, why I want to do a video today, because I want to get it out of the way, and, it's Monster or Myth Week. I kind of like that title, don't you? Monster or Myth Week. And then before, we did a Loch Ness and testing, pothole testing. Now, let's go into Bigfoot. I always say, please don't shoot Bigfoot or any other unknown creature just because it's different. I mean, I'm different when y'all shoot me. Just kidding. I'm proud to be different, be proud of who you are. Just say, if anything, from this podcast, be proud of who you are. Now, of course, your girl is never ready. So let's get to it, shall we? I had it, and then... By the way, yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome in. Let us know where you're listening from. We're from California. So, yeah, welcome to Mystic Whisper Podcast, where every whisper has a story, and every mystery leaves another question. Waiting in the darkness. I'm your host, Nicole Gaspard, and tonight we're getting something special this week. Monster or Myth Week, like I said. Today we're going to talk about none other than legendary Bigfoot. Yeah, it said legendary. So. Legendary Bigfoot. So for decades, people around the world have reported encounters with, various creatures that science has never officially recognized or proven. Because Why is it that every time we see something, our camera is always, it's always shaking? I know it's exciting and it's also scary at the same time. To hold your camera, but isn't that what a tripod is for? There you go. Use tripod, folks. I just gave you an idea. So you can thank me later. By the way, also, he's very tall. That's why they call him Bigfoot. Why he's very tall. I'm just a very short person. I'm barely 5 foot. You know. Oh my goodness. He's a very towering figure, covered in hair, I can imagine, and with some funded. But anyway, leaving impossible footprints. I can imagine. Now I've seen when we used canva where I used simulators to play. I've seen wolf prints, and they're pretty big. You know, they're pretty big wolf prints. But I haven't seen a wolf. But you know, they're out there. But just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I mean, we worship some unknown deity, and yet, you know, he exists, right? Whether it's God or sword, whatever you call him. I call him God. I'm born again, Christian mystic. Anyway, moving on. And so, leaving impossible footprints are appearing only for seconds at a time. Just like shadow figures, right? One thing that bores me is their movements, and they're so quickly, like spider. You're like, oh man, where did it go? Where did it go? Anyway, moving on. Appearing, and it only appeared for a few seconds, if that tops. And before disappearing once again into the dark forest, where no human eye can move so quickly, you know. And I just put a lot of lip gloss on, so I'm like, I'm trying to talk and have a lot of lip gloss at the same time. So you try to do that, folks. So don't mind me, I lost my place again. But we have an incredible, amazing, well, I try to find a place again, show for you without me losing my place. Listener call-ins, or we get text and email quite often, and so I thought I'd share their story. So, yeah, be sure to submit your stories. I won't call you weird unless you want me to. I won't call it weird. I won't dismiss it. We love those kind of stories. But keep submitting those in. That's what makes the whole show. Alright, I think I found my place. So appearing for only for a second. And disappearing into the forest where no human should move so quickly. Let me go back. This is not in the script. I quite love these videos of my theory guys give me ideas and theory. This is my first theory about Bigfoot. I mean, wasn't Bigfoot giants read in the Bible many years ago, many ages ago? They just call them giants. What if Bigfoot is simply a giant? You know, giant. Maybe they're watchers. I think they're called watchers too. But maybe the Bible was referring to the giants as Bigfoot, what we call Bigfoot today. There's my 2 cents. Maybe it's also, to me, for skeptic, it could be misidentified bear or creature or an undiscovered primate. But it's good to be skeptical, and it's also good to be mindful and open to these views, arena, and this propaganda and paranormal, right? So, always good to have a healthy balance in that. Just like food and diet. So, food and diet and exercise. What I meant to say. Food, diet, exercise. Especially in our later years. In our younger years, we should be doing that. So that way we'll have all these problems in our older years, right? So, what did we think of that? Anyway, don't answer that. Or could it be Bigfoot? Could something even be strange or be hiding behind a legend? I feel like that series is fact or fiction. This is kind of like what it's based on. Monsters are myth. My idea. Anyway, tonight we'll explore witnesses, reports, of course, native traditions. Of course, they're always out there. You might see it, right? And I'm part Cherokee Indian, so and mysterious evidence, footprints or whatever. Here, I'm sure they've been finding DNA. I don't know if they ever found any Bigfoot DNA. Have they found that yet, folks? Never know. Come and look. And tonight we'll explore that and listener experiences, and I'll share my own reflections as someone who has spent years investigating unexplained phenomena. Right? So dim your lights if you're there. I should have lit candles for y'all. Next time, lock your doors. You never know who's watching. And bring some holy water. Just in case. Welcome to part 1. Legends older than America. So, long before TV documentaries or television documentaries, before blurry photographs and videos, shaky video, before the internet debates, native tribes across North America already spoke of giant forest beings. See, there's that word, giant is the key word. Giant! Water break, sorry. It's hot. It's pretty hot today. I have some exciting news which I'll disclose at the end of the segment. So, for the giant forest beings, different tribes gave them different names, of course, over the years. And then all of a sudden, it's just Bigfoot instead of giant. But the Bible refers to it as giants. But I'm not saying Bigfoot, they're saying giant. I don't know. It's either or, I guess. Some believe they protected sacred lands, Others warned travelers to avoid certain mountains after sunset and try to get comfortable here. And many stories describe enormous human-like figures watching. See what I mean by watchers? From the dense forest. Interestingly enough, these legends existed thousands of miles apart, and yet they're talking about the same thing, the same picture. One story myth, folks. One story myth. Many tribes had no contact with each other. I remember reading someplace where, I forget where it was, that the way a tribe believed another tribe was that they would knock down trees and put it in a direction where the tribe was heading, so the other tribes will not get lost. Pretty cool tip there. So anyway, so many tribes have no contact with each other, and yet the descriptions remain remarkably similar, much like UFO abductees, right? Stories we welcome those too. And I'm yours truly, I've been it up, and anyway, that's another video. That alone raises fascinating questions. Did they all create the same legend independently? Possibly. It's like word of mouth stories around campfires. But anyway, perfect campfire stories. I can imagine. Or were they describing something they truly witnessed? Even though they have no proof, they have no evidence, because they didn't have the equipment like we do today. So you can tell if you interview enough people, we can tell right away if someone's not telling the truth, right? Police officers can tell, firemen can tell. I'm sure they deal with people day in and day out. They know the body language and the way their voice projects or not. So different pitches in the voice. If someone was going like this, I'm gonna describe it for you. The way like I'm not telling the truth. Okay, here goes. Here goes my acting. Well, last week I saw a Bigfoot. See, no emotion, no emotion. Maybe I'm still in shock. Do you think maybe that's why I have no emotion there? And he was very tall, very hairy, and he looked right at me. See, you can tell that there is something fishy there, right? There's something fishy there. I'm not like enthusiastic. Oh, I saw Bigfoot, and he looked right at me, and I fainted. That is believable, right? That is where I projected, and I was looking at you, maybe eye to eye. That's another thing they might look at, whether they would have eye contact or not. Ah, there you go. There you go. They'll probably hate my show after this, but anyway. Where did I leave off again? Oh yeah, older American. Yeah, no internet. Can you imagine no internet? Before the 80s, no internet. It's just all funny games. So we can do something stupid without being recorded. I miss those days, don't you all? I'm so effing glad that I graduated before our phones became possible. I'm so blessed. I don't mean the most. I don't mean the most. But kids can be so cool with their phone, make you look like an idiot, and do stupid stunts. Oh, she did it because they wanted to. We didn't do anything about it. But one thing is good that the police always wear police body cams. Why not paranormal researchers or investigators? There you go. So anyway, oh man, there's a lot there, wasn't there? And before I go any further, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, our only sponsor at the moment. But I'm blessed. I'm blessed with that. I'm happy about that. Maybe there'll be more later on. But I can dream. We can dream. But they're called a Stream TV network. So I like to say if someone were to ask me like to interview with somebody on a 20 say, Nicole, were you ever on a TV show? I can honestly say yes. I've been on TV because we have our own freaking channel with Stream TV network. So there you go. And I promise before I go any further, I'm proud to announce another announcement, folks, that I finished my book series. Where did it go? Oh my goodness. Where did it go? Oh well. I thought I had it behind me. Sorry, I had to turn that on my aquarium on. It's not a real aquarium. Don't be alarmed. There, it's not a real aquarium. But I'm excited that I have 31 books out. Will be out. I'm going to send in my 31st book to Amazon. First to Amazon, and it goes to Barnes & Noble and everywhere else. Goodreads. Just like our podcast. We go everywhere else where you listen to your pod. Audible, everywhere. Isn't that amazing? Amazing? So, the Haunted Wood series by yours truly. The first one was The Haunted Wood, where drama is contagious. Number 2, one of my personal favorites as well, It goes in the water. Dead protocol is just something like. Number 3, return of Sister Eva. Now, what I was saying on Facebook, I'm always on Facebook, that Sister Eva character is a lot like me, only I'm not a nun. I'm just a religious demonologist, sort of like a nun, but not certified as one, if that makes sense. We have our own rights, they have their own rights, so we can aid in the exorcism if they need me. So if you need someone to aid you, I'll be sure here. And it'd be cool to answer that call. I'll let you guys know if that ever happens. But of course, I won't disclose the actual exorcism, only if my permission. That'd be a good idea. Anyway, so what's on the part 2? The Patterson Gimlin film. Yeah. The Gimlin film. I can talk today. Sorry, it's so hot. Bear with me, folks. So, perhaps no Bigfoot evidence is more famous. And it's footage captured back in 1967, where they had probably just stuck their cameras then. Anyway, a massive hairy creature commonly walks across the Bluff Creek in California. So there's been Bigfoot sighted around across my home state, California, for the region. So, have I seen one? Not yet. Not yet is a key word. Then it turns, Bigfoot turns, looks directly at the camera. Like, whoa, bro, you filming me? No, I'm just adding. He's like, whoa, bro, you filming me? And then continues walking his merry own way. So Mary, here I go, losing my place again. Right when I'm getting to the best part, I do apologize. So I look directly at the camera when I'm trying to find my place here. I don't want to dead air. That's how I thought of the other title anyway. Dead air protocol. But where did it go? How did it know that it was filming it? It's like here it is, but I'm going to share my story here because I lost my place. It's like whenever I encounter a UFO craft, they're usually spear-like shape, and very silent. You don't hear nothing. I just happened to look up at the time, and there it was. I'm like, you know what? I think they can hear me when I ask them, you know what? I haven't seen you all in a while. Guess what? They show up the freaking next day. The next day. Try not to hit the mic. But how did they know the moment that I was filming it, and then it goes freaking hiding beside, or actually, behind are what we call UFO hills. This is right in front of our house. That was how I was able to see it when I was doing dishes. I was like, what TF? There's another one. So I went out there at a safe distance. Okay, I wouldn't be abducted again. And I seen it. It was like an orange, white blob type of thing, but it's also spear. It's kind of weird, but pretty cool. Anyway, it like, whoa, it noticed I was filming it. Just like Bigfoot here, it's like, it looked directly at the camera. How do they know that? I don't know. It hides like Bigfoot. Connected? Yes. Same though. I think we're all connected, energy-wise. Energy-wise. So it was from Bluff Creek, California. There it is. There it is. And then Alyssa turns directly towards the camera and then continues walking its merry way. So, nearly 60 years later, people still argue over those few seconds. And some experts believe it was an elaborate hoax with a costume. Anybody can do that. Right. I've seen these costumes in stores. And I'm like, oh, there's a Bigfoot costume. Cool. I almost got one. But I wouldn't wear one of those in this heat. Hell no. But anyway. Where's my arrow? There it is. Sorry, if I look down, it means I'm looking at my keyboard. I'm going to move my keyboard so I won't be looking down that much. So, right? So, oh, anyway, it is what it is. And others insist no costume from that era could replicate the muscle movement seen in the film. Regardless or not of where you stand, one thing is undeniable. That footage alone forever changed paranormal history sure does. Welcome to part 3. Did we make it to part 3 already? Segment 3. And this is episode 312, by the way. 312. Cool. Sounds like a hotel number. But anyway, episode 312. Why, here's what we called it. Why is Bigfoot always seen but never found? Right? No DNA, probably here and there, but never found Bigfoot prints. But this question appears in nearly every discussion. What if, I'm sorry, my writer, I play what if game. What if Bigfoot actually exists? So he does. We exist. You should ask because we exist. Oh my lord, I get cut out a rant page for the. Oh my goodness, they want to shoot something just because it's different. Only if it charges at you and tries to tear you apart. Then yeah, I don't like it. But if it's not doing nothing to you, just leave it alone. So there you go. I'm trying to save Bigfoot. Save Bigfoot! Anyway, and other creatures, I'm sure they'll love it. They'll love my podcast. But anyway, some theories include some of my own also, but here it is. Perhaps there are very few of them. Or, how is there very few of them? Here's my question. If there's only very few of them, how are we seeing them around the world? I'm sure there's other sightings across countries and around the world. They get around, don't they? They have their own traveling system. They probably have their own portal. I wish we had a portal. That'd be cool. I always say, because I can also do a remote view, so I can see spirit portals. I like, next time I see one, I'm going to see if I can walk through it. And then you'll wonder, what is his road here? He's walked through another dimension. Anyway, perhaps that's a little joke, but perhaps they inhabit remote wilderness where humans rarely travel. I'm sure they'll be like, oh, there's a human, that's scary, let's run. I don't blame them one bit, not one bit. I'm afraid of us too. I'm more rather, here's a saying that I shared today on Facebook, I'm more rather fond of ghosts than the living, right? Or is it another saying that it's the living that ticks me off? I don't know, something like that. I can't remember what I was saying, but anyway, you'll find it on my Facebook. If you follow me on Facebook. So other social media, we're everywhere. And So others suggest witnesses are experiencing something paranormal rather than biological, right? But like ghosts and vampires, for that matter, black-eyed kids, doppelgangers, fall in that category. Monsters are myths, right? So that idea sounds plausible or even unbelievable. Yet many witnesses report strange lights. What if the lights are connected to these monsters, myth, creatures, especially Bigfoot and black-eyed kids? What if they're connected? Humanoids. Um, yeah, what if it's connected? Silence. Electronic usually fails. Um, or feeling as though time itself slowed down. But those reports began sounding less like zoology. I know I butchered that, sorry. Zoology. Yeah. Um, and more like the paranormal supernatural, right? So welcome to listener story number 1. And this story comes from a listener in Oregon, so you don't have to provide your name. I can make up names, I'm a writer. So, anyway, arrows have lose my place again. Don't laugh. So, this listener in Oregon was saying in my email, I was driving to a mountain road around midnight, and my headlights caught something enormous standing beside a pine tree. It wasn't a bear, it was standing upright. It seemed at least 8 feet tall. It slowly turned its head rather, toward my truck. Yet its eyes reflected amber. And of course, I froze. I would freeze too or faint if I ever saw something like that. Um, and then they said, I couldn't even reach the gas pedal. Then it stepped back into the darkness and completely, guess what? Vanished. It vanished. And later that night, returned during the daylight. So it's not just nighttime, folks. They can appear in daylight just as well as ghost spookers. Whatever. So the nighttime is just for fear-based, whatever you want to make it is. And there were enormous footprints. I mean, my feet alone are small, but yay, you know, it's like, whoa. You're like, whoa, bro. Anyway, but no tracks leading away. Once here, no tracks. Like we humans leave tracks with snow or whatever. No tracks. It simply vanished or stepped into another portal. I think it just stepped into another portal. So welcome to listener story number 2. And we called it A Family Camping in Washington. Whoa, hello from Washington. No name. So around 2 a.m., something began circling our campsite. Heavy footsteps, snapping branches, loud breathing. We expected to see a bear, but instead, whatever it was, they just beyond our flashlight beams. The sound stopped all at once. Even the nature sound stopped all at once. and you know there's something up, right? You know something big's coming. It might look, there's something big coming when it's all quiet. Anyway, the forest became completely silent, and that silence frightened us more than the footsteps. Course, of course. So, thank you for that. From Washington, the many experienced outdoorsmen say completely silence in the forest often signals that something unusual or big has entered the area. There you go. There you go. Water break. Sorry. And we call this listener story. Um, sorry, I mumbled. Listener story. A retired hunter shared their experience. Okay? He didn't say his name, he didn't say where he was from, so we just call it a retired hunter, shared their experience. Here's his story. And they write, I've hunted 40 years. I know every sound forest makes. Of course. One morning I heard wood knocking. Imagine that, wood knocking. They're often known as wood knockers, I believe. So you want to get attention of the Bigfoot, start knocking on wood. I better stop, but anyway. And 3 knots specifically. I don't know if you guys hear that, but I knocked 3 times. It's like knocking on wood. So anyway, sorry myself. But then another 3 further away. And another. It sounded like communication, like what we do with spirit. We'll be like, hey, investigator, we'll be like, hey, can you knock on something? Let us know you're here. Boom, they're gone. And we run. We get our answer, but don't run. It floors me with investigators, especially with newbies. It's like, why do you want a spirit to do something and they do? Then you get, oh, I'm wrong. And you get, oh my god, there's a demon. Let's run. No, not all ghosts are demons. Oh, okay, that's my bad. So, they never saw it, whatever's making those sounds. They never saw it. But every animal disappeared. Would not remain one of the strangest recurring Bigfoot reports. So that's probably where knocking on wood came from. There we go. I have another theory I'd like to share, even though it's not related. What if Stonehenge was built on top of a crop circle, an old crop circle, and that's why they're feeling all of those energies, right? Oh, okay. I like to add some fun facts sometimes. Dirty out fun facts. Crop circles don't hit. Should be connected. Anyway, here's my thoughts. People often ask me whether I believe Bigfoot exists. I'm like, yeah, why not? A lot of reports, people are seeing things, witnessing things, for sure. Just because I haven't personally seen it doesn't believe it don't exist. Just like, worshiping the deity, just because we can't see them, they don't believe. We just believe because faith, what is it about faith? Is believe, see without believing, something like that. Anyway, and after years of researching paranormal cases, I've learned something important. That just because something hasn't been scientifically confirmed doesn't automatically mean people are lying or they just want clicks and views for 50 minutes of fame. It, just means that thousands of witnesses have described encounters, Bigfoot with or giants with remarkable consistency, much like UFO abductions, right? So many have nothing to gain or lose. Some never tell anyone until years later. It really helps. It sticks, with you like glue. It's like stepping on the haunting, like glue. It sticks with you or your family, unfortunately. But do I know what Bigfoot is? No, not exactly. Do I believe every photograph? Certainly not. But I also don't dismiss every eyewitnesses or client simply because their experience doesn't add up or conventional explanations are true or not. If you witness in interviews like myself, broadcasters, police, or whoever, we deal with clients all the time, and we could probably be the best, whether or not you are lying or not, right? So take it as a grain of salt. I would say just ask my readings, take it as a grain of salt. But some mysteries remain just that, mystery. Just like a podcast, right? Monster or myth. That is exactly why that continues to fascinate us, including earlier. But here we go, 74. Monster, animal, or something else. What we call it? Researchers generally fall into three camps. The first believe Bigfoot is an undiscovered primate. Second, believe the phenomenon is entirely fabricated. And the third, believe Bigfoot could represent something paranormal. But this final theory often includes reports of glowing orbs, what I see. Strange, oops, I hit my mic, that mustard. Strange humming sounds, or very silent. And also my experience, missing time. That also connects with possible UFO events, missing time. I was on an hour when I went missing. An hour. But it felt like decades. Right? So, and yeah, what did I tell you? So, I was got lost in the forest. And actually, I remember running into Bigfoot. I don't remember much after that. I don't remember. I always say in the story, I don't remember from being from point A to point B, even though it happened years ago. It could be that our experiences may fade away when we get older. That's why it's very important to write every detail down in a journal. Whether it seems silly or not, we keep dream journals. Why not paranormal activity journals, whatever, And that way you can show the team and researchers that are helping you get that missing piece of the puzzle, if you will. It does help us a lot. Anyway, here we go, and we're wrapping up with my final reflection. If you're with me this far, Anyway, final reflections. Here we go. We deep dive in this rabbit hole here. So the deeper research, the more questions emerge, of course. I see what happens when we're in the paranormal supernatural arena. We come out with more questions and answers. Like this whole mystery. But I love mystery, don't you? I love a good healthy mystery. So so maybe Bigfoot is simply another. What I like is those. Maybe it's simply another undiscovered species of primate waiting to be identified. Maybe the legends grew larger with every generation. Oh, here's another theory. Maybe it's a Topa. Did I say that right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry. Topa is thought forms. The more we talk about something like Annabelle, Bigfoot, and what was that other thing? Well, if I think of it, I'll write it down. My spirit guide, I need your help here. That's known to be evil when it's really is like a made up thing. But anyway, kind of like Zozo. Now I looked up Zozo. I'm going to share that in another video. Okay? Stay tuned for that. Might be the next one. So I won't share much about that. But anyway. But it grew larger with every generation and perhaps something ancient still watches from the forest we rarely enter. And always trust your instincts. I hope you don't have to learn your instincts like I did. So I learned the hard way. Tips alright. Anyway. But not everything unexplained has been explained either. But sometimes the greatest mysteries are the ones that continue walking just beyond our flashlight. I should have grabbed my flashlight. There you go. Anyway, but yeah, thank you all for joining me for tonight's episode. And Missed It Whispers podcast. This is only one part of our Bigfoot week series, which is still might be some events. And we'll have a paranormal series when we have whatever. So on. But we'll examine other live Bigfoot vocal recordings, baby. Would that be interesting? And government investigations, mysterious footprints, possible connections to missing persons other than UFO. Even some of the strangest encounters reported all across California, my state, California. Yikes. But should we live in fear? No. Just like I was saying in the previous video, you should watch it. Tahoe Taxi Monster Myth. Should we live in fear because of these monsters? No, live your life. We are here for a purpose, not to live in fear. Remember that. We are here for a purpose, not to live in fear. Remember, God didn't give us a spirit of fear. He gave us a spirit of a sound mind. Strong heart. Remember that. Sorry, I felt like saying that. But if you had your own, or if you ever had your own unexplained encounter with whatever you Bigfoot or whatever cryptid in the wilderness, we love to hear from you. We love those kind of stories. And maybe I'll share my own. We'll see. I know I haven't, again, for the record, I have not encountered Bigfoot yet, but it doesn't mean he doesn't exist. So, your experiences and stories may be featured in a future episode. So until next time, keep exploring, and remember, stay weird, be like weird, weird as hope. I'm your host, Nicole Gaspard. Thank you for listening, and remember to like, comment, subscribe, and Mr. Whisper podcast. Thank you, and good night. Stay curious.